Justin Bieber and Jaden Smith, two young guys who were tragically harmed by their closest friends. Justin was always rumored to have been used by Diddy, his mentor and trainer, while Jaden Smith was allegedly used by his father. Regarding Will Smith,
As far as Will Smith is concerned, until he does right, all of those children that were harmed and corrupted while in his care, boys like Bashir Gray, August Alsina, like your own son.
Justin Bieber's Diddy deal wasn't our fault. We're not responsible for Usher's decision to avoid Diddy. You may be wondering how Diddy and Will Smith are related. It may surprise you that the two have a troubled history. Diddy and Will have attended gay Illuminati parties together, according to Tupac's self-proclaimed leader, Keith D.
The vibes ain't there. I guess that's what Tupac was talking about, the Illuminati and shit. It's like Vivica Fox was with this big gay man. He was 6'9". They called him, his name 6'9". He had the red hair with a big old booty and shit. Nobody was gay no more. What the f is going on here? It's just a lot of weird shit, dude. You know what I'm saying? It ain't right. You know what I'm saying? I guess that's what Tupac, I guess he wanted to get up out of the Illuminati or something. But I seen it the other. Matter of fact, MC Lyte pulled off with Tanisha Arnold. You know what I'm saying? In her brand new 560, black one. Yeah, that shit weird, dude.
And what was Tupac doing at the party, yo?
Him and Puff was there together. They was there, you know what I'm saying?
Both traveled in the same circles. Jaguar Wright's revelations would strengthen their accusations. She cited Will Smith, Diddy, Justin Bieber, Jaden Smith, and others to argue that the entertainment industry has failed young artists. She claimed that Will Smith remains liable for allegedly harming or corrupting children under his care. She named Bashir Gray, August Alsina, and Will's son, Jaden Smith.
What you're saying reaches the ears of Will Smith, and he needs to get at least, if there's smoke, there's fire, let me grab a fan.
Number one, as far as Will Smith is concerned, until he does right by all of those children that were harmed and corrupted while in his
grave.
Oh, okay. So let's even go into that since you want it, and then we'll go into the legal stuff.
I saw a video with Bashir Gray on X.
Okay.
And he had both his legs up. He was digging and pouring himself in his ass.
Okay.
Empire, Bashir Gray.
Okay.
That is not allegedly. The video is on X, unless it's a deep fake.
No, it ain't. Okay. So in the book, in one of the chapters, it talk about mentorship. So allegedly, Charlie Mack and Will called me and said, we're coming to your apartment. I said, okay.
Now, when was this?
No problem. This was during the time before Empire even started.
Okay.
So people can look it up and see what year it was. So I'm like, all right, cool. So, but normally I have to go to Will's house if there's a meeting. So Will comes to my apartment allegedly, and Charlie Mack, the rat, the informant, come to my apartment. So they was like, hey, B, look, man, we got this new guy. Will is mentoring. His name is Bashir Gray. Everybody call him Yaz. He's about to get cast on this major show. That was I'm like, okay, what would you want? I'm thinking they coming to get product, because what people don't know, I kept millions of dollars in products from various companies and lockers, right? So whenever a celebrity call me and say, I need this, I need that, I'm running to wherever they are, dropping it off, taking a picture and getting a nice check sent to me, right? So this is my job every day. So I said, Will, and then Will said, yo, because Bashir was supposed to allegedly star in the reboot of The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, right?
I could see him
right. That's what I'm saying, right? So they're telling
would have been a better fit.
So they gassing me up. So I'm like, all right. So I said, look, Will, what do you want me to do? He said, I want you to go to Chicago and hold this guy down, right? I said, to be his assistant? And he was like,
he always sending you to be the assistant.
Right. So I'm like, I said, this guy can't pay me. And then I go to my computer, boom. I remember like it was yesterday, I turned the computer around. I said, Will, that's what's in my bank account right now, right? Will started laughing, right? And said, I'm gonna make sure you get double that over the course of time. That's my guarantee. So I'm like, sheesh. I said, okay. So he said, just make sure you hold them down, because he was like, Charlie Mack is not going to be able to be there because him and Charlie had something else going on, right? Okay, so I said, well, listen, let me close out what I'm doing, right? And I told Will, with some of my sponsors, I'm gonna need you to do me a video or something to just let them know I'm working on a special project with you, and then it'll be beneficial for them in the future, right? So I'm covering all my grounds, right? So, and I said, I need some time before the show starts for me to make it out there to close everything down. So I arrived in Chicago for Empire. It's a damn mess. It's no other way to put it. This dude is going crazy, right? He's out there allegedly with male prostitutes. He's pissing in the trailer. He's acting psychotic.
Jaguar also said Bieber's public struggles should worry everyone and asked how long he could endure. Jaguar said she wouldn't want anyone to pretend they weren't aware if something happened to him because she's been openly voicing her worries about Bieber, Justin Bieber, and Bashir for years. He suddenly fights Eddie Winslow for Sydney Star. It's unclear what happens in the entertainment sector that makes someone become close to guys on men. It's intriguing.
I'll say the least.
You want to know the thing that bothers me most about Bashir Gray? I actually think he's doing all of this so they'll take him back in the club. And they're not. They're going to keep gaslighting you and playing with you, promising you one thing or another. Not now, not now. Just next year's going to be your time. You know, you need to get yourself out there. You need to...
Jack, I have a question. So... we speak about, you know, you dealing with the Illuminati and having tides and things like that and denouncing it. Can you tell me
outrage?
One of the things that they promised you?
And now they're watching him become a fallen one, like a comet speeding. How long before he decides it's time to cash out now? How long? Because the one thing I will say is this. Anything happens to that young man, it better not nobody say a word to me. For years, I've been yelling.
Jaguar then commended commentator Morad Merali, stating she likes his perspective because he has openly talked experiencing abuse and identifies warning signs that others miss. Jaguar asked why more people weren't asking uncomfortable questions. She also attacked Terrence Howard for failing to address one of the most critical topics, despite openly discussing Hollywood difficulties. That was my only concern with Terrence Howard's speech. Because of that, he talked. No mention of Bashir. Right, he played his TV father, was on set. He observed Charlie Mack and them. He knew they were taking the guys to Diddy. Everyone knew. His guy card barely covers his hole, I assume. If you actually believed what you say, you would not have stood by and seen your coworkers hurt those youngsters without speaking out.
Have integrity for it all. If the man card is the thing, and you ain't gonna let nobody take yours, when you see a younger man being preyed upon, you're not gonna stand in a gap for him and say, no, you ain't taking his man card.
These aren't isolated events. Jaguar claims his father exploited Jaden. Why? What could have brought him to these actions? According to insiders, these activities are learned. Will used August Alsina and Bashir Gray after experimenting on his own child. The same thing Diddy did to Usher before Justin Bieber.
Eventually, it will get used to the fact that his mouth is no longer full with that object and that it's time to just, learn how to live without it. He's been sticking on Diddy's a long time. It's time for him to learn how to make this thing happen without the devil's in his mouth, boy.
You don't think if he sued, he'll just Lil Woody the situation and I don't recall? I don't recall.
No, because I think if a victim comes out against Usher, it'll show how egregious this is. Because if he can be a predator, then anybody can be a predator.
Can't smile on your face the whole time.
You feel what I'm saying? Like, people look at Usher, they don't see that. They're not seeing the victim. They not seeing that boy that got rushed to the hospital. They not seeing what the intentions was in his heart when he took Justin Bieber there.
Oh.
Let's be honest. He took Justin Bieber there. Diddy had been trying to get to Bieber for a minute. And his management was backing him off. But it wasn't until Usher took over management and had guardianship and gave temporary guardianship to the diddler for 48 hours. Think about that. He had already been to the hospital. That situation that Gene was talking about. And you still took Bieber there. But you got custody of him first. Diddy had already tried. They wouldn't let him. Actually, someone made reference to the fact that Diddy trying to get at Bieber the way he was trying to get at Bieber was looking a little predatory. And then Usher came in and discovered it and managed him and got custody of him and promised to look after him. And then he sent him to the diddler. Does that sound like a good guy?
She even said that exploiters recruit older victims to bring in younger ones. Jaguar said Usher should be investigated if he knowingly put kids in danger.
Usher is a procurer. And if Usher knew what was going to happen to any of those young children that he took to the Flavor Freak office, he a good guy. Especially considering what happened to him. Especially considering that he sat Howard Stern, and Howard Stern said, would you send your kids to Puffy's Flavor Camp? And his immediate response was, hell no! So it's good enough for everybody else's kids, but it's not good enough for yours. Yours are just good enough to die in Lake Lanier with no real investigation. Got it? Like, these aren't good people!
Oof, oof. All right, Jeff.
He's not good! He's a... And the simple fact that Justin Bieber literally made a public statement and said, Usher asked me to do the Super Bowl with him and I turned it down.
For the hills.
Why would he turn it down? Who turns down the Super Bowl?
However, what did? His ability to do this to youngsters was always known.
He got on Shay Shay and he mentioned how great and how good Puff taught him and everything. You know what I'm saying? About the business, right? I know, and people know, that was around that in that time that Puff and Usher did have a situation. And that situation led Usher to the hospital. Now I let Usher explain that to y'all. I let Usher tell that story. But how dare you say a man that groomed you gonna give him a pass? Bro, you know I know. Let me reframe you on something. Remember Usher? We was at the Swiss Hotel. Puff had Kim in the room. Had one of Keith Sweat's baby mothers in the big room outside the master bedroom. He came outside in his robe. She gave him a fellatio right there. His back was turned to me. She gave him a fellatio. You knocked on the door. I came and opened the door for you. Puff went in the room. You came in the room and kissed that girl dead in her mouth. Now I'm telling that because you taking up for somebody that you know and a lot of more people know didn't do you right when you was at Diddy camp.
Bro, you know how people be talking and we was around some people, something like that, and then some people might say, yo, I don't F with that dude. And at the time, I didn't even know who the F Usher was. You know what I'm saying? It was one of those type of situations. And when probably say, yo, man, I don't F with them niggas, man. I'm getting out that industry and everything like that. You know, Puff sent this little kid to the hospital. How he sent him to the hospital? Man, nigga was bleeding from the butt. And that's what was said. I didn't even have a name for the kid at the time. Then you heard, and that's what happened. And that's just, that's something that you heard. You don't know if it's true, you just heard it. So, and just to hear this, and this new thing where they saying that they got kids coming forward and said that he did that, man. And like I just said, that's just something that I heard. It's something that I didn't know. It's something that I ain't see. A lot of people want to, because Gene Deal has spoken on certain things that I've heard, I have spoken on it. But then they were just trying to say, I know. No, I'm not scared to say what I heard. And if there's any truth to it, then it's truth to it. Let them find it. Things that I've saw or things that I've witnessed and been a part of, I've said it. I'm not afraid to say what I saw or what I didn't see.
His ability to do this to youngsters was always known. Many didn't expect Will Smith to participate, let alone exploit his son. Understandably, Justin and Jaden suffered severe mental health concerns.
We wanted to bring him to the table. I was like, well, what do you want to talk about? He said, mushrooms.
Yeah.
The magic kind, of course.
Yeah.
Plant medicine 10 years ago to deal with my depression. Yeah. And it knocked it out.
Something Jada says she can speak to from personal experience.
What it does, unlike just going to therapy and putting people on Prozac, right? Which I did that too.
Which that is not successful for so many people.
And that's the thing. So for me, I had struggled with depression for so long. Crippling depression. So the thing about the plant medicine is that not only does it help you feel better, but it helps you solve the problems of how you got there in the first place.
Recent social media footage of Diddy and Justin has sparked discussion of the video. Not everyone could be in my position. Diddy is seen with teenage Justin in a video, raising questions about whether he subjected him to his freakouts.
Combs allegedly planned and controlled the sex performances, which he called freak-offs, and he often electronically recorded them. The freak-offs sometimes lasted days at a time.
You're gonna hear about parties, they're gonna be shutting them down, they're gonna probably be arresting me, doing all types of crazy things just because we wanna have a good time.
Justin cries during the Zane Lowe interview when he wants to protect Billie Eilish, who became a superstar. Being a good example was my goal. Being young and in the industry and not knowing where to turn and everyone telling me they loved me and then turning their back on you was hard. I only wanted to safeguard her. I don't want her to experience my struggles. Don't wish that on anyone. A source tells E, Justin thinks of Diddy's charges. T, Justin doesn't care about Diddy's allegations. Justin and Hailey are focusing on their August baby Jack, according to our source. All of this suggests a trend. Will these people ever be punished? We want to hear your thoughts below.